This is the Giraffes Don't Eat Steak podcast, a show that brings you marketing stories, tips, hints, and much more. A treat for those who want to succeed in business or marketers who just want to learn.
Good morning, Stephanie.
Hello, Erica. It's good evening here from New Zealand.
Of course. Good evening to you. Oh my goodness, it's so wonderful to chat to you. It's been such a long time.
Yes, it has. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Oh, but when last? I think it was before COVID, right? That we were chatting.
Yes, very much so. I had just come back from New Zealand to South Africa, and that was at the end of 2019, before the world fell apart. So yes, it's been that long.
So to our listeners, I'm so delighted to be chatting to Stephanie Wium today on our podcast, Giraffes Don't Eat Steak. Stephanie and I, as we just said, met just before COVID, where she designed my very first LinkedIn banner for me. I was just starting out on LinkedIn, and Stephanie reached out and I asked her to help me with my very first LinkedIn banner. So we have never met in person. Can we believe it?
No,
We haven't.
No. And we're both from South Africa. I mean, can you believe it?
So Stephanie, tell our listeners about you and your business. What are you doing now?
All right. So I am known affectionately as the Canva Queen. I love absolutely anything and everything to do with Canva. I will design, I will coach, I will strategize, I will clean up, I will even kick butt if I need to. But yes, my whole business is built around Canva. I didn't always start out on Canva. I started out as a generalist virtual assistant, which sucked the soul out of me. You have no idea. It was soul destroying. And then, of course, at that time, I had already started playing on Canva, and I quite liked it. I also made quite shit designs. But it's okay because, we learn. And as we learn, we get better. And look at me now, 6 years later, and I am now designing, coaching, mentoring, group coaching, in-person workshopping, everything around Canva. I'm even a Canva community ambassador, which is where this little badge comes from. It says it's a community ambassador. We're, for short, a Canvassador, so a Canva community ambassador. And it's my second year running as a community ambassador. And I'm very stoked about that. And I have to work hard to keep that little badge going.
So that's awarded by Canva itself?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Very fascinating.
Yes.
So, Stephanie, why Canva? What do you love about it?
Canva makes design easy for non-designers and even for designers. I have classically trained designers in my network, even on my client base. And Canva makes design easy. For those who don't know, Canva is a visual content creation tool. It's drag and drop. Everything that you can conceive on social media or on the internet, you can practically create using Canva. Canva has some various apps in it, obviously, which is paid. But at the end of the day, Canva is just fabulous. From starting out, whenever they started out many, many years ago, to today, where they have literally hundreds of millions of people who subscribe to this amazing tool. Canva makes showing up visually visible for all of us business owners so much easier. And if you want to be found on social media, you need to be visible. Because social media is where you get found, then you funnel people to your emailing list, which you know all about. And that's where you nurture them to give them what you offer. And if you're visually visible on social media with some kick-ass graphics, then you're even more able to be found by everybody else who's looking for somebody to help them.
Absolutely. So who is your target audience, Stephanie? What does your ideal client look like?
You know what, Erica? You know, when you the thing that people say, when you market to everybody, you market to no one. Well, you know what? If you feel the need to be visible on Canva and you have no idea where to start, then you come to me. Now, you may very well be a virtual assistant who's wanting to branch out into visual content design as well, and I can help you. You may be a business coach who want to do a one-off design. I can help you too. If you have a virtual assistant that you want to train, then you send her to me. So that way I help both of you. So, but at the end of the day, the long and the short of it, Erica, is I prefer to work with female online business owners, entrepreneurs such as yourself and myself that feel the need to be out there. And some of us are scared to death of putting our face on a background onto social media.
Yeah.
If that's you, I can relate.
Fabulous. Fantastic. So it sounds like your ideal client is, so I think, I'm not a fan of draw the little person and what's their name and stuff. That's not what I do. I look for common pain points. So it feels like your common pain point of your target audience is visibility. Would you say that's accurate? Wanting to be visible.
I would say yes, but remember, to be visible, you need to have confidence, and to have confidence, you need to have courage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, courageously helping confident women to be even more courageously confident in showing up visually visible online. So, yes.
Love it. Fantastic. Now, we've all seen the bad Canva designs. And one of my bugbears are especially when there's an array of events and you can see someone has just used the Canva template and just added their own logo to it, right? Like that's all they've done. What tips can you give? Can you give us your top 3 tips for anyone who is stepping into the Canva world?
You know what? Canva templates are absolutely wonderful, but the template was not designed with your brand voice, your brand visual, and your brand identity in mind. So, having said that, start with a template, but rip it to shreds and make it your own. Because when anybody is scrolling through social media and they recognize a Canva template, they become blind. The shutters come down and they think to themselves, they've seen this content before, even if they haven't.
Yeah.
So a template makes you blend in. A graphic that you have taken the time to actually make your own will make you stand out because you look different to many, 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 many Canva templates that are found on social media. So my first tip will definitely be start with a template. The second one, rip it to shreds. Do not end up with one. And the third one, don't be afraid to experiment. But, there's always a but, do not throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at it, because nobody wants to see a cluttered design that means nothing to them.
Absolutely.
Less is more. Less is more, always.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of white space. I like clean lines and white space. Right. And what's the most fun project you've ever worked on?
The most fun but also the most terrifying project is something that's just concluded. I have just hosted my first in-person 2-day workshop.
Wow.
And it was terrifying, but it was incredible to put it together. So I'm a great believer in the power of artificial intelligence, specifically ChatGPT. I brainstorm with ChatGPT all the time, and something that's been in the making for the past feels like 100 years, but most likely about 4 years, was the visual content strategy workshop that I just hosted here in Auckland, New Zealand. And it was spectacular. I loved every single moment of it. Creating the content, presenting the content, designing the workbook, putting the presentation together, and showing up on the day. It was
Fantastic.
incredible.
Oh, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
amazing. I thought you said you don't like being visible, Stephanie. Look at that. That's big.
You know what? No, you know what? At the end of the day, we have to face our fears.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing that says, I am doing this, like stepping out of your comfort zone.
Oh, fantastic. So when using Canva, oh, actually now you mentioned ChatGPT. There's quite a lot of design tools now in AI, right? Does that replace Canva? Because you can just type something into ChatGPT and say, design me a LinkedIn banner or whatever it is. Do you think that's
You know
replacing
what?
Canva?
No. That's
Okay.
the easiest answer is no. Because when we design something, when we input, when we give AI our prompt, we have to keep prompting it and refining the prompt in order to get eventually what we're possibly looking for. Whereas in Canva, you have your brand kit. If you're on a pro subscriber, you've got your brand kit at hand with your fonts, with your colors, with your photographs, with your graphics. Everything is there. AI doesn't have that. So you have to tweak and tweak and tweak and eventually give up in frustration. And then you end up with blank space as a LinkedIn banner. So no, I don't believe that ChatGPT can create you a LinkedIn banner as you can create for yourself or with a designer such as me in Canva.
No, fabulous. And it doesn't help with a day like yesterday where ChatGPT was down here. Everyone was posting all over social media that ChatGPT was down.
Oh my goodness. But you know what? When we rely on the tools that we use and it goes down, we realize how disadvantaged we are because we don't really use our brains all that much anymore. And
Yeah,
it's kind of sad, right?
it is sad. I on my last trip to South Africa, I had my phone stolen. It's South Africa. I should have known better. But anyway, um, my life fell apart. My whole life is on that phone, right? It's just like that little thing in my pocket. I really had a hard time. And so I suppose it's about not turning these tools into what our phones have already become, right? Like
Yes.
just
No, but
making
but
sure we know how to run our lives without it.
absolutely. But you know what, Erica, at the same time also, if we've got the tool at our disposal, use it. And I think that's the one piece of advice I will give anybody. If you've got a tool that you're comfortable in using, continue using it. don't move over to Canva because I say so. I have the lady that, one of the ladies that is in my professional network. She's actually a client of mine. She works on a design platform called Figma. I've never even heard of Figma, but it's okay because she's comfortable on that and she can create with a lot of struggle. To me, it looks like what I can create very easily in Canva. So use the platform and the tool that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. Great advice. So Stephanie, what kind of designs do you help people with?
For the most part, it is social media graphics, because social media graphics probably stresses us out the most. We attach so much value to something that is scrolled over so very quickly.
Yeah.
So for the most part, it's social media graphics. I do help my clients with ebook and lead magnet design also. And then, of course, there's a little bit of video editing, because Canva is just fantastic with video editing. I mean, you can do so much video editing in Canva. It's incredible. So, but for the most part, it's social media graphics, as well as the odd ebook or freebie or paid resource, whatever.
Okay. I've actually never even looked at the video editing part of Canva. Is that new or
No,
no?
it's not new.
Okay.
Canva you've been able to do video on Canva for quite some time. So Canva, for video, using the video editing tools, I have created a resource, a little uh, uh, online self-paced video tutorial course on how to edit videos using Canva. If you want professionally edited videos, you're not going to use Canva. You're going to go to a professional video editor. The Canva has limitations. However, for the very odd quick and easy tutorial or video that you want to put out on social, or even, I don't know, as part of a promotion, it works. It is actually very, very useful to know how to edit videos and to be able to play around with it a little bit.
And so talk to me about edit videos. Are you talking about, like, for this podcast recording, for example, could I put the end message on there? Is that the kind of thing you would do?
Yes, yes, you can record for up to an hour. Is it an hour? I think it's an hour. Canva has recently updated and upgraded all of their capabilities. So you can record video, upload it into Canva, and then fit it together, cut a bit here to tack it on at the end, take the end bit that you forgot to record and put that in the front. Music transitions, music overlay, text overlay. You can even do closed captions on Canva now.
Wow, I had no
Yes.
idea. Okay. Feels like I need to go and play a little bit more. As you know, I'm not a designer.
No, it's all right. You don't need to be a designer in order to play in Canva. That's the beauty of it.
Oh, fantastic. Stephanie, it's been so awesome catching up with you. Where can our audience get hold of you if I'm assuming you still work with people all over the world, even though you're
I
in New
do.
Zealand.
I do indeed.
Where can people get hold of you?
I am mostly on LinkedIn. My name and my surname is quite distinct. Well, there's lots of Stephanies. Let's not kid about that. But I do believe I'm the only Stephanie Wium, and my surname or last name, you spell Wium. and I am the only one on LinkedIn. I am happy to connect with absolutely anybody. And I say that tongue in cheek because there's some weird characters on LinkedIn.
They definitely are.
And my website is very simply www.simplyondemand, one word, .net. And you can send me messages from there as well. And then some of my services are on there, not all of them. But have a chat to me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to chat to anybody on LinkedIn itself.
Oh, fantastic. Stephanie, any last tips you want to leave our listeners with?
You're not too old to design.
Mm.
You are not too old to take up a new tool, and you are definitely not too old to learn new tech. I learned Canva on the other side of 50, and I will never, ever, ever look back. Tech doesn't come easy to me, so don't give up. If you want to do it, you'll find a way to do it. And that's my last word on Canva. Don't be afraid to play, because playing leads to beautiful designs.
Oh, wonderful. Lovely message. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been really awesome. And as always, we'll stay in touch on LinkedIn.
Absolutely, Erica. Thank you once again for the invitation. And I hope that you get lots of listeners and lots of inquiries
Same
about
to you.
all of this.
I'll
Thank
see you
you so
soon.
much. Take care. Bye.
That wraps up this episode of Giraffes Don't Eat Steak. Thanks for joining us. I hope you found value in our discussion and got some new ideas to apply to your own business. Tune in next week for another round of marketing insights and inspiration. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We appreciate you listening. Catch you next time on Giraffes Don't Eat Steak.